Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special, very special, thrilling, chilling, and fulfilling edition of the Burke Brigade. I'm Matthew Burke.
And I'm Jennifer Burke.
And we are the Burke Brigade, brought to you by the Liberty Daily,
your conservative alternative to the Drudge Report.
Visit thelibertydaily.com. Thelibertydaily.com. Recently named, in fact, this week named, the best conservative news site in America. Rated over sites like Fox News, Breitbart, even Drudge. So we're pretty proud of that at the Liberty Daily. Thelibertydaily.com. Okay, tonight we have news for you that you may not have heard. It's Friday night on September 22nd. Donald Trump just spoke at a rally in Alabama in support of Luther Strange, or as I affectionately refer to him, Luther the Strange, a McConnell stooge, a rhino who is running against Ten Commandments Judge Roy Moore. Here is President Trump's shall we say, lukewarm endorsement in Alabama, where he is already admitting that he may have made a mistake in endorsing Luther Strange over Ten Commandments Judge Roy Moore.
But I'll have to say this. So Luther did that for me.
He's talking about, he was a early endorser of Trump.
Remembered Luther. We have to be loyal in life. There's something called loyalty with these and I might have made a mistake. And I'll be honest. I might have made a mistake. Because, here's a story. If Luther doesn't win, they're not going to say we picked up 25 points in a very short period of time. They're going to say Donald Trump, the President of the United States, was unable to pull his candidate across the line.
You know what I'm going to say? You're an idiot for backing a McConnell stooge. That's what I'm going to say. You had the opportunity to back a real conservative. Instead, you let your New York liberal values come out. And for someone who was trying to drain the swamp,
right?
Why in the hell would you endorse a swamp creature?
25-year lobbyist? Is it 25?
23, I believe, but you're not far off.
Nearly a quarter of a century.
Right. A K Street whore, Luther Strange, a lobbyist. Is there anything more swampy than a lobbyist? Is there?
No, and it's very...
Oh, wait, maybe Mitch McConnell.
Very telling listening to Luther the Strange when we listened to that debate between him and Roy Moore earlier. He was like a broken record. He had nothing to say. Every time I went back to him, it was just talking about Trump. Trump endorsed me. Trump endorsed me. It's a wonderful thing that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is good friends with me.
Right.
It's pathetic.
That's why he endorsed me. That's why he's down here endorsing me. Well, he's already admitting here that may have been a mistake. By the way, not to digress, but you're right. He was like a broken record, and I read somewhere today that he said that 28 times.
Wow. Should we bring this point up now or after you finish playing this? How when Donald Trump put the word out about the rally.
Oh, let's do that after this.
Okay.
Because that's funny. It'll dovetail perfectly with this.
It is a terrible, terrible moment for Trump. This is total embarrassment. These are bad people. And by the way, both good men.
So he's not exactly hitting Roy Moore.
He's already trying to
take both sides of the issue.
And you know what? And I told Luther, I have to say this, if his opponent wins, I'm going to be here campaigning like hell for him.
That's not really what you would call a ringing endorsement, is it?
No. In fact,
talk about hedging your bets.
This was supposedly at a rally for Luther Strange.
Yeah, that's the rally for Luther Strange. You stand up and say, right in front of Luther Strange, I may have made a mistake endorsing you. I mean, the right thing to have done would have been not to endorse him anyway.
Right.
Or, when it would have made a difference, say, you know what? I rethought this. I'm going to man up. I made a mistake. Instead, he is paying Luther Strange back a political favor.
Yep.
Now, I thought Trump was elected so that we could get away from these political favors, these, backroom deals and all this kind of crap. Well, we knew that was a bunch of BS during the primary, and we know it now. So we're gonna get to your story that you are dying to bring up. But at that rally tonight, this is just it's something else, really. Breitbart, this is on the Washington Examiner. Breitbart was denied entry to the Trump Luther Strange rally. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that.
I can believe that, because this is what happens, Breitbart, when you endorsed Donald Trump, who doesn't have a conservative bone in his body, over a real conservative, Ted Cruz, in the GOP primary.
Not only did they endorse Donald Trump and not the real conservative Ted Cruz, they bashed Cruz like crazy.
With all this
bashed the one
BS.
Man. Well, not the one man, because he did have backup in Mike Lee, but bashed a man who had spent all of his time in the U.S. Senate fulfilling his campaign promises to his constituents and being a fighter for conservative values and for the Tea Party.
And fighting the establishment.
Yeah, and fighting the establishment.
Fighting the establishment that Breitbart's supposed to be against.
Unreal.
Instead, they elected the establishment candidate, which is turning out to be Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I hate to beat a dead horse here, but damn it.
Beat it.
I told you, and you wouldn't listen. I mean, we knew people there. We got knockdown, drag-out fights with former friends, and we told them this, and they would not listen.
Nope.
They had bought into the cult philosophy. Yes, I get, Trump is better than Hillary because he's going to be on our side most of the time. But, some of the time.
Burn it down!
But,
burn it down!
Yeah, burn it down. He's just going to burn it down. No, he's not burning it down. He's building bridges for the establishment, right? Mitch McConnell, and endorsing Mitch McConnell's stooges.
Unreal.
That's not burning anything down. You stupid idiots. And now Trump is kicking Breitbart in the teeth. He just got to talking about loyalty to Luther Strange. How about some loyalty to Breitbart?
Sadly,
he's kicking them in the teeth.
Honey, with what he did to, remember when he was attacking Jeff Sessions? Loyalty obviously is a one-way street.
Right. Yeah, of course it is. So this is the Washington Examiner tonight. You didn't hear this anywhere else today on any of the other great talk shows out there, like the great one, Mark Levin, or where it all began with Rush Limbaugh, or Glenn Beck, or any of the other great hosts out there, because, you know why? It hadn't happened yet. And so that's why you're tuning in. One of the reasons, other than to, hear my voice and my beautiful wife's voice, is because we give you this late-breaking stuff that's hot off the press. This is Friday night.
That you will also find on thelibertydaily.com.
Thank you for throwing that in. So here's an editor, Jeff Poor, editor of Breitbart TV, tweeted Friday, and Breitbart is denied entry into Trump Strange rally.
How strange.
Oh, that's so strange. So strange. And you know what? I feel bad. I mean, for a long time, I didn't put Breitbart stuff on the Liberty Daily because I just thought they had completely lost their objectivity with Trump. I mean, they were just, it was like Pravda.
Right.
It was ridiculous, Now, they've actually turned some on Trump, and they're willing to be objective in some ways. They have been totally calling him out for his support of Luther the Strange.
Right.
And I respect that. Mm-hmm. So my boycott of Breitbart News has been lifted. And I feel bad for them that now Trump is kicking you in the teeth. But let me just say this. I told you so. A lot of other people told you so, and you were so damn dumb you didn't listen. So enjoy it. Next time, get behind the right horse, okay? Get behind somebody with some effing principles. Somebody that understands the Constitution, understands limited government, not somebody that just sticks his finger in the wind to find out what he's going to believe. I mean, we had that with Bill Clinton,
Hillary Clinton.
You didn't have that with Obama. He knew what he believed in, and he stuck with it. Marxism.
Right.
He was not a flip-flopper. He was a Marxist.
I have to throw in this euphemism as some advice to Breitbart and what they experience today. You made your bed, now lie in it.
Right?
Right?
So, do you have this story up? If not, I'm going to
No, I don't.
Okay, so speaking of Breitbart, they had a good story today. It's several, actually. Look, this is just tough love. It's just tough love. Yes, I'm hitting on Breitbart, but you know what, people? You freaking deserve it. I'm sorry. We could have had freaking Ted Cruz, for God's sakes. And you don't give me that crap. Oh, he wouldn't have beat Hillary. He would have crushed Hillary.
Yeah,
he didn't have any of Trump's baggage.
If places like Breitbart
he would have crushed Hillary.
Hadn't
like
joined in with the left in the character assassination of Ted Cruz.
I mean, remember when they were calling him a globalist?
Unwarranted character assassination.
Yeah, who's in the Trump administration? A bunch of globalists.
Yep.
A bunch of Goldman Sachs globalists. Unfreaking real. So I'm really sorry. I feel your pain. You're getting kicked in the teeth. You picked the damn wrong horse, and now you're getting punished for it. Sorry. I hope you learn next time. All right, but off that now. Gotta get on my high horse. I just can't get off. It's hard. So Breitbart.com, and this is just great. Headline: Alabama. Trump campaign robocall does not even mention Luther Strange's coming to the rally. Boy, there's another ring endorsement. So, first, the robocall, he doesn't tell people because he has to know, or his advisors know,
right,
what a legend Ten Commandments Judge Roy Moore is.
Right, especially the administration who swore they would fight for religious liberty.
Right. And so he wants people to go to the rally, and he's trying to dupe them into going by not letting them know that Luther Strange is going to be there. So he's trying. Yeah, it's deceitful and kind of dirty, really. So I'm reading here. A Trump campaign robocall promoted Senator Luther Strange's campaign rally with President Donald Trump Friday, does not even mention the senator's name. This special rally event featuring President Donald Trump is the only thing that Laura Trump, the president's daughter-in-law, said of the rally in the robocall. And so, Trump is trying to cut the baby in half here. Yes, I'm endorsing Luther Strange, but I don't want anybody to know about it. But yet, I want Luther to know about it because I got to suck up him to pay him back for some political favors.
Because Mitch McConnell told me to.
Because, I'm Mitch's.
Obama's Mitch.
Yeah. And he's the establishment, and I'm the establishment president. And but yet, to the people of Alabama, hey, I might have made a mistake. I might have made a mistake, and I told old Luther back here, if he loses, I'm gonna, come back here and campaign for Roy Moore. Now, after that, in terms of full disclosure, Trump goes on to make an absolutely ridiculous and ignorant, if not out a flat-out lie, statement saying, well, Big Luther's 6'9", so he calls him Big Luther. He will win in the general. But Roy, he's going to have a problem in it. Are you freaking kidding me? Do you know how red Alabama is? Judge Roy Moore is a legend there. He will crush whoever he's running a Democrat by 20 points or
Right.
more. It's utterly shameful to just lie to people like
Outright
that.
lie.
All to protect your damn ego. I don't give a shit about your ego.
Yep.
The freaking country's on fire, and you're worried about your damn ego.
You're worried about trying to get a quarter of a century lobbyist to add to the swamp.
Right. It's utterly shameful. I'm willing to praise Trump when he's right, but doggone it. Okay.
It's okay.
I know. Calm me down. Get me a Valium. All right. We don't have any of those. That was a joke. So there is some news in from the. I believe you were going to go over this, my dear.
Yes.
The ABC, Disney, ESPN leftist communist brainwashing cartel.
Yep. You know, when Last Man Standing was canceled, it came as a shock to most people because it was highly rated.
Tim Allen show. It still
very
is
popular. Tim Allen, longtime stalwart on ABC. His other show, what was it called? He was Tim the Tool Man.
Oh, Home
Improvement was on ABC.
Yep.
He helped make ABC. I mean, he put ABC's sitcoms on the map with Home Improvement, and they brought him back for Last Man Standing.
and it's excellent. We watch it all the time.
So
it's funny and heck.
Funny.
It's conservative.
Right. They are just a regular old traditional marriage family with 3 daughters. One of the daughters, the youngest daughter, was in the ROTC, and then she became a musician when she didn't get into a military academy. The oldest daughter is married to a guy who's a lib.
He's a limp-wristed lib.
Yes, limp-wristed lib, who is very opinionated, but very oftentimes learns that the real facts of life.
Right.
After being schooled by Tim Allen, he cracks a lot of jokes at the expense of Democrats. It is great. It is one of the few shows we really enjoyed watching on network television. Then all of a sudden it was canceled, and everybody was like, what? Tim Allen was even floored. He was caught by surprise. We were like, in the words of Donald Trump, what the hell is going on? Well, now we know what was going on. Because this isn't something that just happened overnight. This had to be not only planning, but planned coordination. Planned coordination.
Yeah, listen to what they replaced it with.
Still out as ABC gears up for new Sanctuary Family show. I'm reading this article from BizPac Review.
You can tell what's coming now. Bend over, people.
Yeah, so Last Man Standing, very pro-American. Obviously, the liberal execs at ABC didn't like that. Instead of it, part of their new programming includes a show titled Sanctuary Family that will follow the story of a married couple who takes in an illegal alien nanny and her family. The family admits it puts a strain on their marriage, but eventually they see the differences both families have aren't as significant as their similarities. Yeah. So that's what's supposed to be in the books this fall on the network this fall. ABC pushing liberal propaganda about illegals.
Meanwhile,
amnesty.
the nation is in the middle of a major debate on illegal immigration,
Exactly. Illegal
building a border wall, DACA.
But that's not all. According to this article, multiple networks. This is the collusion to which I was earlier
collusion?
referring.
You mean there's collusion?
Collusion.
I was taught. I'm old enough to remember when collusion was bad.
Right? The CW is bringing a program.
What the hell is a CW?
And I don't even know what the CW stands for, but it's a channel.
It couldn't be
They have a
country
show
western.
called Illegal, which centers on the trials and tribulations of a DACA-eligible teen.
What trials and
who was
tribulations?
brought to America illegally by his parents. And then
there's one way to
you
remedy
have
that. You can
a
always go
show
back.
by CBS called Have Mercy. It's about a Latina doctor who cannot practice when she moves to Miami illegally. So she opens up an illegal clinic to give care to her community at risk of being deported. She so loves her community that she's risking deportation by operating this fake clinic in her apartment. and taking money from these people.
But it's fake news. It's fake news.
And then Fox is in on the action.
Yeah,
Not Fox News, but Fox, owned by the same company.
Because there's apparently money in promoting law breaking.
Right. In the country we love, it'll focus on an attorney who begins taking pro bono cases for illegals because her parents were deported to Colombia when she was a teenager. This is no coincidence, people.
Yeah.
All these networks having these pushed propaganda, pushing illegal immigration and DACA, and like Matthew said, right around the time that we have this discussion on building the wall. No, I don't buy it. This was collusion between the networks and their progressive partners in Congress to do this. Period.
Yeah, to brainwash. Because they're no longer in the business of entertaining. They're in the middle of pushing their communist, progressive propaganda, anti-American agenda by flooding America with foreigners, basically enabling the foreign takeover of America. That's exactly what they want to do. All led by the Democrat Party, who has pissed off so many millions of American voters that they must bring in new illegals to get them dependent on government so that they will therefore vote Democrat for eternity.
Yep.
All of this is political. It's got nothing to do with entertainment. You could probably count on the number of people that want to watch a show of illegals on your right hand. But yet what they'll do is, and I've noticed this for decades, they are willing to put out this trash and lose money on it.
Just to push the message.
And you know, like ABC, for example. They've got the mouse. They've got Disney. That's their big cash cow. You know, and they try to be pro-family, etc. They've gotten away from that a little bit, but you know, all American, etc., etc. They use the profits from that to do their progressive propaganda on ESPN and to fund money losers like this crap.
Right? Let's see how long it stays up. Remember which network was it that tried to do that show of a Muslim family? Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan. It lasted all of 1 week.
Went over like a fart in church. Speaking of farts and speaking of propagandists, we all know that Jimmy Kimmel has all of a sudden become a proponent of communist health care.
You know what's interesting? I remember for the last several years, the last few years of Obama's presidency, I didn't watch these late night shows, but I kind of followed. You get the hearsay afterwards. You see the news.
We always knew when they would say something blatantly political.
Jimmy Kimmel never really said much of anything massively political like the other guys until now.
So, Jimmy Kimmel, who makes $8 million a year, now he has a son that was born with a with a heart problem, and of course we all want him to be completely healed. This has nothing to do with that because Jimmy Kimmel could pay cash for whatever health problem his son had.
Just remember this.
Many times over.
Remember this. Ben Shapiro, after Jimmy Kimmel was pushing, for keeping Obamacare, using his son's story in the mix, Ben Shapiro said, Jimmy, my child and your child were treated at the same hospital for the same condition. That hospital it's a privately run hospital.
Right.
It has nothing to do with Obamacare.
Right. And, people make it run through donations, etc. But Jimmy Kimmel somehow thinks he has the moral authority now to govern the nation's healthcare system. And, by the way, was he perfectly okay with millions of people losing their health care under Obama?
Right.
Was he perfectly okay?
We're not supposed to talk about those people.
Oh, no, F them. Was he okay with the millions of people, like present company included, where the health insurance skyrocketed so much that we would rather pay the fine than get the insurance, which was unusable anyway.
Unusable.
Does he care about the people?
If you have, Jimmy, here's some news for you. Now, I know you don't know this since you make $8 million a year. But when your health, quote-unquote, health insurance premium is the most...
He doesn't need health insurance. He can self-insure.
Is the most expensive expenditure in your budget. Which
more than your house.
That is, more than your house. When you're paying... I've seen stories from friends after friends who dropped their insurance because they couldn't afford it, because their premiums went up to $1,000, $1,200, $1,400, $1,600. One girl said that her insurance premium, a personal friend of mine, her insurance premium had doubled in the last 2 years thanks to Obamacare.
Right.
And then
he doesn't care about that.
Not only do you have $1,000 to $1,600 or $1,700 premium a month, but your deductible is $8,000, $10,000, $12,000, $14,000, whatever.
So you're never going to use it.
You're never going to use it. It's unusable. You're paying,
but you're covered.
$12,000 more a year for health insurance that you cannot use. Yeah, but you're covered.
But you're covered. You're covered with a pile of manure, but you're covered with it. Let's go cover everybody with manure so we can say they're covered. I'm freaking real.
Spoken just like Jimmy Kimmel. Spoken just like a limousine liberal.
Breaking.
Shut the hell up.
Breaking. Okay, this is breaking. This is from the Daily Beast. Not exactly a right-wing news site. They definitely lean left, but they do some good investigative work from time to time. They have outed Jimmy Kimmel as a Schumer stooge. Now the name of
Talk about collusion.
Oh, collusion. Jimmy Kimmel, I'm reading here, this is the headline. Jimmy Kimmel got a hand from Chuck Schumer in his fight against Obamacare repeal. Now notice, Democrats, what are they doing now? They're pushing commie-care. They want Bernie Sanders' Soviet-style communist takeover of the healthcare system, but yet, in the same breath, they will say that there's nothing wrong with Obamacare.
You mean
I thought if Obamacare's working, why would you replace it with commie-care?
You mean the same healthcare system that Bernie Sanders in 1987 said would bankrupt the country?
Well, that's what they want to do. They're okay with that. They totally will be. I mean, Cloward and Piven, bing it. Cloward, Piven. They want to get everybody hooked on government. They want to overwhelm the welfare rolls. They want to destroy capitalism so they can replace it with communism. Hashtag wake the hell up. Okay. So, I'm reading now from the Daily Beast. Over the past week, opposition to the latest Republican effort to repeal and replace Obamacare has been driven by a late-night talk show host who had expressed little interest in healthcare policy prior to this year. So, honey, you're right. Even the leftist Daily Beast
they
are admitting
political. He straddled the line.
So, Jimmy Kimmel's nightly monologues decrying Senator Lindsey Graham and Bill Cassidy's bill became must-see TV. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. As the ABC host systematically attacked both the specifics of the legislation and Cassidy himself. Behind the scenes, the ABC star was getting an assist. Kimmel and his team were in touch with healthcare officials, charities, and advocacy groups, multiple sources told the Daily Beast. He also was in touch with the office of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Collusion.
Chucky Schumer, who, according to a source familiar with their conversations, quote, provided technical guidance.
Guidance. Collusion.
Guidance. And info about the bill, as well as stats from various think tanks and experts on the effects of Graham-Cassidy, the name of the bill. The 3 episodes in which Kimmel tore apart both Cassidy, who had previously insisted that any healthcare bill pass the Jimmy Kimmel test, and the bill's specifics, helped galvanize public and political opposition to the legislation. So, Jimmy Kimmel is Pravda.
Pravda. Admittance.
He's the Russian propaganda station.
Working in cahoots. Remember when the media, when the leftist media was accusing Fox News of basically scheming and planning with Donald Trump to change the news story. And here you have Jimmy Kimmel and ABC actually caught red-handed by the lefties at the Daily Beast scheming and plotting with Democrats, including the top-ranking Democrat in the U.S. House. Do you think CNN will report on that?
I don't know.
Doubtful.
But you know what? The Daily Beast did. So now we're going to give this to the Daily Beast. Thank you so much. That is not fake news. Okay, this just in, breaking. Dr. Ben Carson has, what would you call it?
Endorsed?
Yeah, yes, but he has broken ranks with Donald Trump. And while I don't believe in his position as in his position, there's some rule or something you can't endorse candidates. But he did issue this statement tonight. He still has a little bit of free speech, and he exercised it in favor of 10 Commandments Judge Roy Moore. Quote, Dr. Ben Carson, Judge Roy Moore is a fine man of proven character and integrity, who I have come to respect over the years. He is truly someone who reflects the Judeo-Christian values that were so important to the establishment of our country. It is these values that we must return to in order to make America great again. Boom! I wish him well and hope everyone will make sure they vote on Tuesday. So he can't say vote for Roy Moore, but I think that's a stronger endorsement than the one that
Trump gave at the Strange rally.
At the Strange.
Pun intended.
You know what? That was just so delicious. If you just now turned into the Burke Brigade, we're going to play that again for you. Here is Donald Trump tonight at the Strange rally, and boy, was it strange.
But I'll have to say this. So Luther did that for me. And I remembered Luther. We have to be loyal in life. You know, there's something called loyalty with these folks. And I might have made a mistake. And I'll be honest. I might have made a mistake.
How about be loyal to the people that elected you? Do you think the people elected you so you can endorse McConnell's stooges? I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. They freaking hate Mitch McConnell.
Because, you know, here's a story. If Luther doesn't win, they're not going to say we picked up 25 points in a very short period of time. They're going to say, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, was unable to pull his candidate across the line.
And you know what? You'll deserve that. You'll deserve that because you backed the wrong horse. Sorry, the media will be correct in doing that at this time. Trust me, I'm no fan of the media.
It is a terrible, terrible moment for Trump. This is total embarrassment.
It is total embarrassment. You backed the wrong horse. You deserve to get kicked in the teeth over it. Not literally, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are bad people.
No, actually, you're the bad people for endorsing a McConnell stooge.
Right? A lobbyist.
And by the way, both good men. Both good men. And you know what?
So now he's hedging his bets here because he feels a loss coming.
And I told Luther, I have to say this, if his opponent wins, I'm going to be here campaigning like hell for him.
What the hell is going on?
What the hell is going on in here? So there's that. Now, here is Politifact. Politifact. So this fact-checking website, they're pretty. They don't always get it right either. And some of the things they choose to cover and don't choose to cover shows their liberal bias. And you got to believe they are no fans of fire-breathing conservative Judge Roy Moore, who stands up against fake homosexual marriage,
Right.
stands up for the Ten Commandments and religious liberty. So can we just get that on record here?
On record.
They're not a fan of Judge Roy Moore. But even they are admitting that this smear campaign that McConnell funded Luther Strange is running against Judge Roy Moore is, in their words, false.
News. Fake news.
Well, that's not their words, but...
Okay, their word is false.
Their
My
word is just
fake
false.
news.
So they've got this meter, this false truth meter, false being to the left, and it looks like, a gas tank of a car on empty. But here's what it says on Luther Strange's website. Fact. Roy Moore fought for pay increases for politicians while courts had to shut down because of a lack of funding. Reads a claim on the Strange for Senate website. So they say that's a fact.
Literally, outright
Of
claims this
fact.
is a fact.
So this is pretty long here, and I'm just going to go all the way down to their summary, but they totally prove that Strange is lying here. Our ruling. The Strange campaign said Moore only needed, quote, Roy Moore fought for pay increases for politicians while courts had to shut down because of lack of funding. Of the two pay raises at issue, Moore only needed to approve one. The notion that he needed to fight for these raises is undercut by the fact that nearly half of Alabama state government employees got raises that year. In any event, experts we spoke to unanimously agreed the two pay raise recipients were not politicians.
Wow.
So that's a lie. To the extent that Alabama courts experienced a shutdown in 2002, so again, they're trying to dig up something from 15 years ago and smear the man about, because people can't, it's harder for them to research it and people don't have the time to.
Right.
It occurred months after at least one of those raises had been approved. So they had their timeline backwards. And after Moore had publicly advocated for more funding for courts. We rate this false. So Luther Strange, you're a damn liar.
Why let Ray don't like Strange.
He don't like liars.
Raymond. Why let a little thing like Ray? Stop. Why let a little thing like facts get in the way of your propaganda?
Right.
And people of Alabama, ask yourself, when you hear that story, ask yourself, can I trust Luther Strange to be honest with me? That very obvious answer is a resounding no.
Is it at all ironic to you, Mrs. Jennifer Burke?
Ironic?
Is that a song?
Do
it is
you
now.
think? A little too ironic. Yes, I really do think. What do you think, hon?
Do you think it's ironic that you have Luther the Strange breaking one of the 10 Commandments, two of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not lie, and also bearing false witness?
Oh my gosh, you're so brilliant.
Against the 10 Commandments,
Guys,
Judge.
You're witnessing the brilliant mind.
That's why I make the big bucks.
Matthew Burke. That's a good one, hon.
So you run against a guy that freaking fights for the 10 Commandments, and then you break two of those commandments with one smear.
So all Luther the Strange has is to talk about his relationship with Donald Trump and to lie about Roy Moore, and this is his tactic in hopes of winning.
Yeah, I'm a McConnell stooge. I'm a lifelong lobbyist, but Trump endorsed me. Doesn't that count for something? No, it counts for nothing. Counts for nothing. Nothing. Less than nothing. Zero. Zilch. And even, it's not working. I mean, you've got Sebastian Gorka down there. Huge Trump supporter. I mean, there is no more for the Trump agenda.
Right.
I mean, no more. Not even Bannon is more of a Trump supporter than Sebastian Gorka. He's down there campaigning for, not Luther Strange, Roy Moore.
Ah.
Sarah Palin is a big Trumper. She's down there campaigning for Judge Roy Moore. I listened to part because I was curious. Laura Ingraham was a big Trumpist. Guess who she is? Well, she did not endorse. But she is not happy with the endorsement of Strange and is perplexed by it. Of course, Sean Hannity is probably never going to criticize anything Trump does. So he's off the reservation at this point. All right, so today, John McCain, Rhino McCain, Establishment Rhino John McCain, announced today that he was going to vote against repealing any of Obamacare, and he would oppose this Graham Cassidy bill. Now, so did Rand Paul, but Rand Paul gives a reason I can respect. He's calling it, a phony repeal. It's not a real repeal. It's not a real repeal. But as Ted Cruz said, it is moving in the right direction.
Right.
So it's probably better than nothing. And let's just face it, with these rhinos that, the useful idiots of America continue to elect, this might be the best we can do. I don't know. And, Cruz said, hey, I want a full repeal. But, we're obviously not going to get anywhere close to that. So this, is at least getting rid of some of it.
Right.
But, so I get, and I'm not going to criticize Rand Paul's righteous indignation for it, because I think he's just trying to push things to the right, and that's always a good thing. But now, Rhino McCain, he is voting against it for different reasons. He is voting against it because it doesn't have enough Democrat hands on it. Because God only knows what would be better for, fixing or repealing Obamacare than to get the same damn people that wrote it in the first place and shoved it down our throats on board. What the hell is wrong with him?
That's an excellent point. John McCain, we've heard, honey, here in Arizona, that the reason John McCain wins here in Arizona is because he has massive Democrat support.
Right.
He has support from
the Democrats vote for him.
Right. He's been censored by the Republican Party in 2 different counties. But Democrats love him, and that's how he's in office. He's not really... He's a Democrat. I know he was a prisoner of war. I know he's a war hero. That's irrelevant.
That's 50 years ago. That doesn't matter now.
That's completely irrelevant. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing with that R next to his name. He really stands for progressive Democrat principles more often than not.
So one thing it would have done, the Graham Cassidy bill, or so it's called, is defund Planned Butcherhood. And so guess who is praising John Latrine?
Cecil Richards.
Cecil? I thought it was Cecile. Is
Whatever.
It Cecil, like Cecil the Lion?
Baby Butcher Richards.
So she's praising him. Rosie O'Donnell, that progressive pig, is praising him. See, I can be like Trump. I was calling her a pig way before he was.
I can vouch for that.
Cher.
Oh, this is funny.
Cher, a leftist lunatic, is praising John McCain.
Hear from a Facebook friend. Can we repeal and replace McCain?
Oh my gosh. There was a, I don't have this up, but there was a Democrat congressman, believe it or not, that predicted that John McCain would vote against any repeal of Obamacare because he's close to death, because he's knocking on death's door with his brain cancer.
And isn't his wife in Trump's cabinet?
Didn't he ambassador to
ambassadorship or something?
I heard he was going to. I don't know if that ever happened, did it?
I'm not sure.
But they aren't, if so, it was, more of this political crap. Ugh. So Democrat Chuck Schumer Chucky Schumer, he lauded, this is on Newsmax, he lauded Senator John McCain's opposition to the latest Republican plan to end Obamacare, and it wasn't really ending Obamacare, but it was knocking some of the barnacles off it, saying that bipartisan talks would continue as long as repeal is off the table. John McCain, here's Chucky Schumer. John McCain shows the same courage in Congress that he showed when he was a naval aviator.
Oh my goodness.
I have assured Senator McCain that as soon as repeal is off the table, we Democrats are intent on resuming the bipartisan process. Wait! I thought nothing was wrong with Obamacare. What's there to work on?
Right?
I love this. When they would say, well, it's not perfect. That's their out. They always say, well, yeah, we know Obamacare is not perfect. What's not perfect about it? What would you fix about it?
Right? Nothing?
No, nothing. Nothing. They never propose any fix.
Never.
Not publicly, anyway. No. I mean, not, under a microphone. They might, behind closed doors or something. But so, let me just tell you this, McCain. When you're getting praised by Chuck Schumer, Rosie O'Donnell, Cher, and the people and the lady responsible for slaughtering 300,000 innocent babies a year, you are on the wrong team.
You're doing Republicanism wrong.
Good gosh. We've got a good Tea Party friend here in Arizona, and I'll always call McCain a rhino. And he always corrects me. He goes, he's not a rhino. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, he's a Democrat. And it's true. What's his... look it up. Go to Conservative Review and look up John McCain's Liberty score. I think it's in the 30s.
Right.
Out of a possible 100.
Right.
Which would indicate he's a Democrat.
Yes, he doesn't care about liberty or freedom.
He can hang the D around, the R around his neck and wear an R necklace all he wants to. He can wear a little lapel pin with the GOP elephant on it if he wants to. But his voting record puts him strongly in the Democrat category. Okay, thank you for tuning in. We're going to wrap it up here on this special Friday edition of the Burke Brigade, brought to you by
the Liberty Daily,
your conservative alternative to the Drudge Report. Go to thelibertydaily.com, thelibertydaily.com.
And if you like what you heard, please share our podcast with all your family and friends.
God bless you guys. Go to the Liberty Daily, recently voted this week as the best conservative news site in America, thelibertydaily.com. God bless you guys.
God bless America.
We appreciate you tuning in.